Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unmuzzled, a podcast with Sarah Lauk. One of our sponsors is here. Now, I've been waiting for her for a while, and she just private messaged me that I can ask her anything after we've had emails back and forth all week about what I was going to ask her. But listen, I love a prepared guest. However, I'm definitely going to throw some curveballs at Kimberly Kingen when she comes on here. She's a beautiful photographer. So I'm just going to show you one right now. That's one of my favorite photos that she's taken. And this photo actually is like exactly what Kimberly captures, because there are these moments when you're doing photographs that just, you got to hit it. And she always hits it. And it can be this kind of photo shoot. It can be our dog prom. It can be a beautiful scenic family type deal. And she always hits it. Before we get to her presenting sponsors.
Canine Cruise is the place to take your pet. They offer dog and cat boarding, dog daycare, pet retail, and mindful day school. With over 12,000 square feet of indoor space and a huge yard, they are the one-stop shop for professional pet care in Chicago. Bark Pouch makes 5 mess-free lickable treat recipes in 2 sizes for a delightful time with your dog or dogs. Their grab-and-go pouches make warm weather fun and easy breezy. Whether you're traveling, enjoying a long walk, patio season, or family and friend gatherings, Bark Pouch's irresistible, all-human-grade treats let you focus on what matters most: time with your dog or dogs and loved ones. Kiki's Corner Natural Pet Foods in downtown Winfield, just a block south of CDH Hospital and the railroad tracks. Kiki's has all your food and health aid needs for dogs and cats. Kiki's Corner for a healthy, happy pet.
Thank you, sponsors. And Kimberly is a supporting sponsor. And here she is. Hello, Kimberly.
Hi. Thank you so much.
We're so happy to have you.
Thank you so much for asking me to be on. I'm honored. Of course, I love everything you do with Live Like Rue and now following your adventure of having your own business. So I'm so excited to chat with you.
I think adventure is the right word for owning your own business, right? As you know.
Yes, definitely. One that has many ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's just so rewarding.
Yeah. So take me to how this all started, because it is, number one, it's an art. You're an artist. And I really, in the past few years, especially, I think since my brother passed away, and he was like a true artist, I really have embraced artists and make sure that they are paid and respected what they're worth. And that's so important, because you are not just standing behind a camera and clicking. You are planning locations. You are planning with the family. You're planning what vision you have, because a bucket list photo shoot is a lot different than a family photo shoot or a newborn photo shoot. So, sorry, I just went on a rant, but I really, truly respect artists. So tell me how you got into photography. Were you like born with a camera in your hands? How did it all come to be?
Yeah, so I always loved photography. I was a little bit more introverted. It actually I was that geeky kid that always had the disposable cameras at like grade school functions, whatever we were doing. I just always wanted to be there and document it. And then later on, I thought about going into veterinary sciences. I wanted to be a zookeeper when I was 4 and 5 because I wanted to take care of the little lion cubs at the zoo. So it's kind of come full circle working with animals. But I thought I would go into a different direction. And then after college, worked for a wedding photography studio, and just kind of it clicked. It's cliche, but that just like started me on the path that I'm on now, that I was kind of resisting just to see what else was out there. And it allowed me to just continue and to work with animals again, just kind of following a really long path, but ending up where I was always meant to be, honestly. So.
Yeah. And it is like a path, and I feel like you are in a great city for people that, and especially now, like I always talk about the pet industry and just how I used to say like it was 5 years ago, but now it's been like 7, 10 years ago. Like it's blown up. To the point where, you see millennials really embracing having a pet and wanting the best for their pet and wanting the best photos of their pet. And we always say, my friends and I, like, the best keepsake is having these memories of these photos, and wherever you put those photos, whether it's on your mantle or on a coffee cup or a t-shirt, that is like truly like a great gift to give to somebody.
Yeah, and that's going back to how you were talking about those special little moments. That's kind of my mission, is to give people space during a photo shoot so that their personality comes out, that their dog feels safe, and that the dog's personality comes out, to really create not just a keepsake, but a keepsake that reminds you of your pet, how you want to remember them. Not just, oh, that was like a really pretty photo of my pet and I. It's kind of, I do take a lot of time to get to know and do a lot of planning so that it does feel very personal and is more like a piece of art, and people are really appreciating it. Oh, I love that one.
That's like one of my favorites. And actually, you'll see here this one too. It's just like,
Yes.
everybody in this picture like nailed it, from the humans to the dogs. But that like, how many photos do you think you took to get that shot?
I take a lot, and I have worked on perfecting my animal noises, and working with dogs. I sometimes wave my hands if maybe their hearing isn't as great, or have a toy. So there's a lot of tips and tricks, but these are my favorite. I call the other one like the holiday card photo or the grandma photo that you give to relatives, but I love the ones that are just about capturing connection. And they were obviously a very affectionate family, so I just wanted to give them space to do that and to capture that aspect of their daily lives.
Yeah, and you're so right. I mean, that was such a great point about, knowing the dog. So a lot of times, what Live Like Rue is working with, and it just, again, it depends on the animal, but they could be reactive. They could be human selective. They could be human reactive. They might not like, a mailman, and then a mailman walks through your shoe and you're screwed then, like, that dog you've kind of lost the dog. So putting them in a spot where they're comfortable. So everybody knows, this is Live Like Rue board member Nicole, so my friend and caddy. I believe, was this during COVID?
Yeah, it was. I think it was summer of 2021.
Yeah. So obviously during COVID, you're not going to be out traipsing all around. And I mean, these stoop photos, actually, like, some of these like went viral for people that were just having shoots like right on their doorstep, which it really is amazing. So for you, kind of take us through like a beginning to end of a shoot, because I think also people don't realize, because you take so many photos, like, you may have a photo shoot and take 5,000 photos and you end up with 20 at the end, but that post organization, editing, choosing, you're kind of like the first line of picking the ones that you like the best. That is so much work. So take us kind of like through a shoot from beginning to end, how you plan it out.
Yeah, so I'll get an inquiry, and then we'll plan a consultation call. And so that way I just get to know a little bit more about the client. They can ask any questions they want. I talk through my process, but really my favorite part is in the beginning, and that's just them telling me about themselves, what their situation is. Sometimes it's an end of life session that's really urgent. So we just talk through those things, finding out if anybody has any mobility issues or physical limitations, and then location, which is very important, and the dog's personality. So that way I know, are they reactive? Are they going to be okay with me? How do I need to approach them, and just make it a session that feels really safe and comfortable and brings out their personality. And then from there, once we have the location, we obviously have a fun shoot, and or more of a heartwarming if it's an end of life session. I kind of become like a fly on the wall, and I give less instruction, and I'm just there to be a documentarian. So we have the session, and then, yeah, it depends. I can take anywhere I tend to overshoot, even going back to when I was working in weddings. So anywhere from 600 to 1,200 photos per session. And I kind of like that now because then you can even create little sequences that look more like video, especially with how fast my shutter is for pets that are particularly quick or just to capture their little nuances in their expressions. So then I, narrow them down. I take out ones that were an obvious miss if the dogs were running or something like that, something that's out of focus. I'll take those out and then just kind of go through, and it's really a gut feeling. Like, does this photo speak to me? How does the client look? How would they feel about this photo? And just keep narrowing it down in phases to get to the final deliverables.
Yeah, when I was editing these to put them on backgrounds, like I was doing it on my laptop, I like did not realize how amazing this photo is. Like it's gorgeous. Like, is this the same dog? This guy here?
Yeah, that's Taro. I was able to photograph him in the summer. It was August of 2022. And that was a really fun shoot because I was able to talk to Laurel. And I believe Laurel now is with an assistant trainer with Canine Therapy Corps. And she was really involved with Taro as pursuing him as a therapy dog and just doing a lot of training with him. And the session she wanted was with her sister. That's her and her sister, because that's one of Taro's favorite humans too. And so we just talked about it on our consultation call, and she just wanted it to be really fun, a little bit more candid. So we just did photos of them playing and just having a great time together, which I love. It's one of my favorite sessions.
Yeah, and I like what a great picture that is too. I mean, it's so good. I just love that you just let them do their thing. Like, obviously there's some post shots, but like, it's just, you're so right. Like, it makes for like the best pictures. It's just, wow, that picture, like I want it. Like, I want that on my wall. It's such a cool picture.
Yeah, so that one I obviously did plan out. I was like, okay, this is the vision. I can see it. Are you cool with like going and sitting here and doing these? But it was very collaborative. Like, I ask, I don't just tell people like, this is what we're doing. It's like, how do you feel about this? And then, of course, more than likely than not, they're like, we trust you. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Let's do it.
And then I assume too, like the weather dictates a lot. So, if you have something scheduled on the lakefront and then there's a storm coming in, you probably are like, okay, let's wait another day, or let's try to get it bang before it hits, because we could have a cool moment with the clouds and such.
Yeah, so I do allow for some flexibility in my schedule because I want it to be a great session, and obviously we don't want to be in a downpour. So that does happen where we're like, hey, the weather, like I just had some recently where it was going to be windy, and I appreciate, as a woman with long hair, you don't necessarily want to have a session that is something that you've been looking forward to, and maybe the only photography session you have this year or for a couple years where your hair is blowing all over because of the wind. So yeah, we do, if you're not doing a studio session, then that is one of the limitations, but sometimes you also get, really great, beautiful weather first time. So it just depends, but definitely have to play that by ear a little bit.
Yeah. And then I think this is like the first time we ever met, which was Coco's bucket list night, which, Coco was a Live Like Rue dog who had cancer. And one of the things that we offer is called the Booker Fund, which is a bucket list night at a hotel. So in this case, we partnered with the Kipton, and we have a photographer come and take photos. And this was, Kimberly, was this like one of the first times you worked with us?
It was the very first time. You have a great memory.
Yeah, I thought so, because it was, and this was a while ago, but it was the photos. This is actually this photo on the left is like hanging at the Live Like Rue office, because I love it so much. It's, the dog is so happy. They have twin daughters, and Lauren, her family, have become Live Like Rue supporters and just like part of our family because of all of this. So these were some of the photos that Kimberly ended up taking. So Kimberly, I did want to ask, because I do think, I often thinking about like bucket list nights and photo sessions. And in fact, like I was obviously at this one for part of the night. And then I've been at some where we have done bucket list photos. it's really hard to keep your cool.
Yeah, it is. I take it very seriously because obviously I know that these are the last professional photos that they're going to have. And even at regular sessions, quote unquote regular sessions, you never know if you'll see that family again exactly as they are at the session you're with. So I take it seriously and I do get choked up, but it's also, you just, as a photographer, I have to stay in the moment, being behind the camera and there to do my job. And then usually go home and cry after, or days later. And when I'm editing the photos, but in the moment, I may get teary and sniffly, but I'm there to capture their love. And so you just have to stay in it, stay in the moment.
Do you want to let your dog out?
I know I think he might have settled now. He's in his crate. This is right around the time when he demands my attention.
Oh.
So I gave him something to keep him busy, but now we'll see. Like 5:30, he gets up on my lap. So I figured him in the other room would be better than him crawling all over me.
All right. Well, I have an edit point there. So, all right. So I think, was there anything else? Because I'm going to just ask kind of what sessions you offer, what location. So studio, on location, that kind of thing. But was there anything else that I missed?
No. Is this going okay?
Oh yeah. It's so good. I love it. It's great.
Okay.
It's great content.
No, ask whatever you want. But yeah, I think whatever you want.
Okay, cool. Okay, so as far as your sessions that you offer, can you kind of go through what people have the option of? Because I know you also have studio space that you can rent or use.
Yeah, so the outdoor sessions are heavily inspired by my dog Nala, because she just loved being outside. She was a little bit nervous, so she had some anxiety. So studio sessions and the lighting that's involved was not really her cup of tea. And I always wanted her experience to be a pleasant one and still carry that into sessions now. Like the dog's experience is still very important to me. So I've done outdoor sessions for quite a long time. And so I have a number, at least 10 to 12 that I will send to a client and they can choose from. And it just kind of describes, who this session might be or who this location might be good for as far as the dog's personality. And then obviously some are a bit further out if they're more reactive and need a bit more space. And then we offer studio sessions now, which as Nala got older, she was like, if you're giving me treats, I'm good with it. I'm confident now, so it's fine. So I kind of saw that, we can do this and I can still make it fun for dogs. And this is one of my favorite sessions. So the pup was really nervous and you can see her kind of hugging towards her mom. And then by the end, we just took it really slow, getting her used to the lighting and the equipment. And then her goofy personality started to come out and she was just really sweet. And those were photos that, you just kind of have to follow the dog's lead and make them comfortable and then just capture what's in front of you. And it was really cute. I love that session.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Sometimes it takes time. So, you may be there for a few hours, waiting for the dog to settle in. We see it too when we do photo shoots at the Live Like Rue office. You may have a dog that is so scared and you just have to wait that dog out because you have to get the shot. I mean, you got to get the shot. But yeah, these are these photos. I feel like these are photos that everybody would want with their dog, just these moments in time. And you nailed it. They're perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for people aspiring and even me, I've gotten I just the iPhone is, not obviously not a camera, but I love trying to get the perfect shot of my pet care clients to send to their families. But for somebody that is aspiring to be a photographer and maybe a younger person or maybe somebody old like me, what advice do you have for even does a smaller camera work? Do I have to have all these bells and whistles? Does the person need to go to a class maybe to learn about lighting and that kind of thing? What advice do you have?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you are more interested in just day-to-day, it's a cliche, but it's true. The best camera is the one you have with you. So if it's with your iPhone, learn some iPhone photography tips. I'm sure there's lots of great courses. There's one company that I really love. They're called Creative Live, and they offer a ton of different classes for a broad range of topics, from public speaking to photography to video to finances. So that's a great resource for anybody interested in continuing education, whatever the topic may be, and certainly for photography. But I would say, just start with what is in your budget, whether that's the smartphone that you have or going and getting some used equipment. And then if you're pursuing it more seriously, you can reach out to some local photographers and see if they offer mentor programs or take a class. So it just kind of depends on what your goals are, but certainly just practice and figure out what you can use with your budget.
And important to note, this is your full-time job.
Yeah.
So please support small businesses, especially women-owned. Me now being, Live Like Rue was always a business, but I didn't treat it like that until I was forced to. It's not easy. Like it's really hard. It's really hard when you start out, even my pet care business, and then you kind of get into this running it like a business, and then it kind of clicks. But like, you can't do it without people supporting you, and especially people like Kimberly that are artists. Do not take advantage of them. Know how much work, and you just heard it, goes on the front and back end of it. You don't get these shots by just pointing and clicking. Like, this took work. So please support her. She is also at a lot of events that Live Like Rue is at. So when you come to the December market at Bosley's, usually we're right beside each other. So come and talk to her. She's very personable. She can show you. She's got binders full of the work she does. Go to her website. Check it out. Here's her website. But thank you, Kimberly. This has been really a pleasure, and I appreciate the work that you do. And I will say, she has done sessions for Live Like Rue's Booker Fund for us for free, and we appreciate that so much. When she does events and such, we always make sure that she is paid. She's taking time out of her busy schedule to help us. So, but we do appreciate the Booker Fund bucket list sessions that you've done, and the pictures are absolutely magical. So thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm always happy to be involved, and I love to give back and donate my time and services when I can. So I just appreciate your support and mentioning that it's important to support small businesses and just everything that you do. So thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, check her out, everybody. Thank you, Kimberly, so much. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Here comes Kimberly again, supporting sponsors.
Thank you so much to our supporting sponsors. Give the gift of joy and memorable moments of furry loved ones with a gift card from Kimberly Kingen Photography. For more details, please visit her website at KimberlyKingen.com or contact her directly at her email, kimberly@kimberlykingen.com. The Canine PT is Chicago's highest rated dog physical therapy clinic, and they're dedicated to enhancing the lives of your four-legged companions as they age or when recovering from an injury. They also offer a discount for rescue dogs. For more information, visit thek9pt.com. That's THEK9pt.com. Anything is Possible is Chicago's premier dog training company. They offer group classes for every stage of your dog's life and have a talented team of behavior specialists to work through any issues that need modification using positive reinforcement. Check out Anything is Possible. Liz Starks at Guaranteed Rate. Check with Liz for the absolute best mortgage options. She helps when others can't and even calls it rescue loans. Buyers, sellers, investors, give Liz a call. She can lend in all 50 states. NMLS number 224526.
Thank you, supporting sponsors, including Kimberly Kingen. Thank you so much for being a guest. Thank you guys for listening and watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.